Alabama's Ryan Williams helped out on Pro Day, and we know a couple things about him. He did an interview and talked about what the game plan is for him moving forward. I thought it was worth talking about today. How about Parker Brailsford? We didn't know if he was coming back or not. I mean, he could have gone to the NFL, but he returns to Alabama and had some comments. Expect him to be one of the vocal leaders on this football team moving forward. And then today, it's time. It's game time. And maybe by the time you guys watch this, the game will be over. But Alabama, a 2 seed against number 15 seed Robert Morris, going to be a game for Alabama where Grant Nelson's probably not going to be there. They're going to have to do it without him. And if he is played, he's probably going to be really limited. But they can win without him. I mean, this is a good team. We're going to get into all that right here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and surprise. I don't know why I just said that, but like, subscribe, thumbs up, get in the comments section. And do all of that. Maybe you get one of these right here, giving gear away, because I love you guys so much. But thank you. Let's get this show started. What do you say, everybody? Mick Gillespie, and great to have you guys here on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, thumbs up, boom, there's my name, there's my calling right there. Yep, the Bama Tailgate Show. We do it every day for you. We do it every day. We didn't start out like this, but you guys asked for it, and when you ask, we deliver. All right, Ryan Williams set to star for Alabama. I really believe in some Ryan Williams. I think you guys do too. And why not? I mean, after what he was able to accomplish last year, but he spoke to the media. He was part of the Pro Day, catching passes for his former quarterback, Jalen Milroe. And he said that he's going to be in the slot, which was pretty interesting. He's a rising sophomore, and he was one of the most exciting players in football last year. He talked about a lot. And you remember last year, he started every game for Alabama. He was Bama's best receiver yards-wise with 865 of those. He had 8 touchdowns, and he had one that was stripped away from him from one of those BS officials. But he ended up with 48 catches. And, and he had some big games, including the game against Georgia, where he had 177 yards, and he had a Daniel Moore print touchdown to beat them after Bama blew a big lead. He made one of the best plays in Alabama history, really. I mean, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But you know what? He kind of slowed down towards the end of the season, and that's something that, he said he felt like he maybe hit a freshman wall. But the thing about it is he's spending the offseason trying to be more like Devontae Smith, kind of a similar size as him, working out all the time, trying to get stronger in areas that are going to help him. At 6 foot, 175 pounds, he's working to try to get bigger. But at the same time, he's like, look, Alabama has great food, and and like he's eating right, but it tastes good. It's the stuff he would have ate anyway. I mean, that's one of the things that Alabama has that other schools might not be able to offer. And that's just kind of the Nick Saban put it in place, just where you get the best food, you get the best schooling, you get all that stuff when you play football at Alabama. But the other thing is seeing him in the slot. I mentioned that before. What's that going to look like for Alabama? And one of the reasons why is that Bama has some taller receivers, and they may go, in other spots. And then that puts Williams in the slot. I worry about him getting hit kind of coming across the middle. But the funny thing was he said the biggest hit he took last year was from Justin Jefferson in summer football, which is crazy. When you think about that, here's a guy playing against all these teams and games, and the hardest hit he took was against Jefferson. And remember, Clint Lamb has told us on Cover Crimson constantly that he's the guy that he feels like he's most excited about coming to this roster because we didn't know if he was coming back or not. But at the same time, it is when you have a guy that puts out punishment like that, and it was Jahad Campbell, it was obviously Ryan Anderson, our friend when he was on the defense, Jonathan Allen, I love talking about what he could do out on the field. But there's a bunch of guys, man. I mean, like Bama's defense has had hard hitters for a long time. We're all hoping that Jefferson's kind of the one of the breakout stars. Clint Lamb feels like he will be. All right, changing gears here. Let's talk about leadership on this team. And Parker Brailsford said, well, let me play this clip from him first. This is from his press conference. And then we're going to kind of talk about what it looks like for Alabama, because it seems like for Alabama to do well, that Brailsford's going to have to go out there and obviously lead.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a whole year under my belt, so everything's a little bit more familiar to me. Obviously, Grubb came back, and that was big as well. But, I definitely feel like I've stepped up a little bit as a leader. And a lot of other guys as well. You know, we missed Book, but guys have realized they needed to step up. So
there you go. Boom, there we go. On the screen. Brailsford is one of Alabama's leaders. I mean, and there was a lot of talk. I mean, I know he's a little undersized for the NFL, but the skill set's there, the ability's there. He's a bulldog on the football field. They were like, hey, man, this guy might end up in the NFL. We didn't know if he was going to go pro or not. He decided to come back. And that, to me, is huge for Alabama, right? So I like this guy a lot. You know, you remember we had all those problems with the snaps with Seth McLaughlin, who, by the way, went on and won a national championship at Ohio State. And he blamed some of it on Milroe. You know, well, I don't know. I'm not behind the center. I'm not under there. I saw a lot of snaps going over Milroe's head before Brailsford got there. So I'm going to take Milroe's side, and I'm going to say that Brailsford is a great center. And he is now to me, the key of this offensive line, because, you know, you're trying to replace Booker. You mentioned him in there. You know, is Wilkin Formby going to be one of those guys? Is Dewberry going to be one of those guys? Who's going to step up and be in that offensive line spot? That's important, because you can't win without a great offensive line. But, you know, at least you have somebody in Brailsford that brings kind of that experience to the table and leadership as well. So I'm guessing that there's a good chance he's going to be one of the captains. He was talking about how excited he was about spring practice. Remember, last year he didn't do the spring practice. You know, had something going on the field. And, and so we didn't see him a whole lot. And then, you know, we were wondering what was going to happen. And then eventually he got the job, and the other center transferred. So that's kind of the situation as we talk right now, is that Brailsford's one of the anchors of this offensive line as we try to see what the Juice Squad's going to look like coming up this next year. All right, you guys hate when I talk hoops. Some of you guys do. And some of you guys will actually message me and go, man, we love basketball. Well, it's go time for Alabama basketball. And I don't think that's a understatement here. Bama's playing in the tournament. They waited all year to play in the tournament, and now they got the tournament. They're the 6th overall seed. The SEC, to me, hasn't looked great so far in this tournament. Texas losing, Georgia getting blown out. I know these aren't the premier teams, but at the same time, you know, you get 14 teams in, you expect, you know, you want to see these teams roll. And, and so that's that. You know, Bama's got to go out there and take care of business against Robert Morris. And they might have to do it without Grant Nelson. Nelson is walking around. He's feeling a lot better, but he's just a game time decision for this contest. And for Alabama, for them to do what we want them to do, and that's win the national championship, they're going to have Nelson. And if you're playing a 15 seed after the gauntlet that you just went through, playing ranked teams, some of them 1 and 2 and 3 in the country, you got to take care of business against these guys. 23-point spread, you got to go out there and pound them the way that you can do it. And so we'll see if Alabama's able to execute that. But LeBaron Philon, is one of those guys who you really need to get a lot of points out of. Obviously, Mark Sears. Bama's not going to win if Mark Sears isn't doing his thing. And so, that's kind of part of it as well. But the other thing, too, and this was something that Nate Oates talked about. And he was talking about tighter whistles in the NCAA tournament. I've told you guys this. We were talking about it because I'm in Vegas right now. And the bottom line is this. First round, you don't have the depth of officiating. You better get ready for a bunch of whistles. That's just the way it's always been. So you just got to make sure that the officials don't end up costing you. And you don't want to have a close game with Robert Morris anyway if you're Alabama. You know, the teams that win national championships go out there and take care of business. And you see March Madness behind me on the screen right now. So anyway, the Tide set to play at 11:40 today. It'll be 9:40 here when we watch. I'm pumped up about it. I can't wait. I'm in the place to watch these games. But if you guys can't get here and you're going, man, where can I go to get that Vegas-style experience? I'm going to tell you right now that you need to go to our friends at Pearl River Resort. They got it all. They got the sports book at Golden Moon Casino. They got the best slots in the state of Mississippi, but unbelievable slots. They got Dancing Rabbit Golf Course, the Augusta you can play, and it's not that expensive. And they got 2 different just amazing courses, the Azaleas and the Oaks. You like steak, Philip M. Steakhouse. They got a spa over there. They got a bunch of bars. It gives you the experience that I have here, and I would love to show you out of my window of everything going on. But you can do that hour and a half from Tuscaloosa, 2 hours and change from Birmingham. So take advantage of that. Now, the last thing I want to tell you guys is that New Life Art, I got you covered with 2 prints right now, and I think that today's going to be it. This is it. I'm going to put it out there right now. If you want these prints and you've been kind of going to yourself like, hey, I've thought about it, but I don't think I'm going to pull the trigger, and you're going, do I pull the trigger or not? I'm going to tell you right now to go ahead and pull the trigger because we're ending this today. This is the last day of the sale. And because I guess it's just time to do something else, right? But let me just put this up here one more time for you because this represents the Super Bowl, the Eagles Super Bowl. Look at that. You got 2 amazing prints with Crimson Redemption. That's Jalen Hurts running it in to beat Georgia in the SEC title game. And then Heisman Heights, Devontae Smith, our last Heisman Trophy winner, making an amazing catch down at LSU, high pointing that ball. Straight up won the Heisman as a wide receiver. 25% off. Bama Tailgate, when you say, hey, where do I hear about it? Bama Tailgate. And then when you get into the where you sign up, what's the promo code? Bama Tailgate, 25% off both of these right here. Last day. This is it. So you better take advantage of it. I'm telling you right now because I hate to do it, but I got to do it. It's time to move on. Get something else going. So anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. We'll do it again tomorrow. Spring practice obviously is rolling on. And I ask you to like and subscribe, give a thumbs up. Thanks for being here, part of the channel. And roll Tide, man. We'll do it again tomorrow.
To Pearl River Resort.